Freedom in the classroom. Yes, and here's how it works. When people hear that Montessori classrooms give children freedom, they sometimes imagine chaos, kids running wild, no rules, no structure, no guidance. Maybe you've heard people say, oh, that Montessori school down the road, they just let kids do whatever it is that they want. But that picture couldn't be further from the truth. Montessori freedom is not about letting children run unchecked. It's about cultivating responsibility, independence, and deep respect for community. Today, we're unpacking what freedom really means in Montessori, how it looks in practice, and why it's so different from both chaos and control. Dr. Maria Montessori observed that children have an inner drive toward growth. Freedom, in her view, wasn't license. It was the ability to act with purpose and independence, within limits that guide and protect. She famously said, to let the child do as he likes when he has not yet developed any powers of control is to betray the idea of freedom. This tells us something crucial. Freedom without discipline isn't freedom at all. It's indulgence. True freedom emerges when children learn self-mastery and responsibility. Let's paint a picture. Imagine walking into a primary classroom of 3 to 6-year-olds. At first, you might notice children working on very different things. One child is laying out the pink tower, another is tracing sandpaper letters, a third is carefully slicing bananas for snack. At first glance, it might feel busy, even noisy compared to a traditional classroom where everyone sits at desks in rows. But look closer. Each child has chosen their work. Each child is focused. There's a quiet hum of activity, not chaos. Freedom here means a few things. A child chooses math or language work, but they use the material respectfully. It means a child decides to read quietly, but doesn't disturb others. It means that a child may walk around the room, but they move with awareness of the community. This is freedom as responsibility, not freedom as license. So how does this actually work? The secret is in the limits. Montessori guides carefully prepare the environment with clear boundaries. These limits are few, but firm. Respect for the materials. Respect for the community. Respect for oneself. Children learn that freedom comes with responsibility. You're free to choose your work, but you're responsible for completing it with care. You're free to move, but you're responsible for not disturbing others. This pairing, freedom and responsibility, is what transforms the classroom from potential chaos into a thriving community. Think of it this way. A game is only fun when everyone agrees on the rules. In Montessori, freedom is joyful because the structure makes it safe and meaningful. Let's clear up a misconception. Chaos and freedom are not the same thing. In fact, they're opposites. Chaos overwhelms children. It makes them anxious, unfocused, unsure of what to do. Freedom, on the other hand, grounds children. It gives them clarity, purpose, and ownership of their choices. A child left with no guidance, too many options, or constant disruption isn't free. They're stuck. But a child with a prepared environment and the right limits, that child is free to grow. Freedom looks different as children grow. In the primary classroom for children ages 3 to 6, freedom is choosing work, repeating it, and developing concentration. It's learning independence, pouring your own water, tying your shoes, deciding when you want to eat snack. In elementary, for ages 6 to 12, freedom shifts. Children are social explorers. Freedom means big projects, research, and collaboration. They form groups, design experiments, and explore big questions. The structure comes from agreements, timelines, and shared responsibilities. In adolescence, for ages 12 to 18, freedom means engaging with the wider world. Teens might run a farm, a business, or a community project. The structure is real-world accountability, customers, crops, and deadlines. Across every stage, Montessori freedom is always balanced with responsibility, suited to developmental needs. So why does this matter? Because freedom is preparation for life. When children grow up with this model of freedom, they don't just follow rules because someone told them to. They understand the why behind the respect, the value of responsibility, and the joy of independence. Montessori freedom develops critical thinkers, problem solvers, and community builders. It shows children that their choices matter, not just to them, but to everyone around them. So yes, there's freedom in a Montessori classroom, but it's not chaos. It's not indulgence. It's not anything goes. It's freedom within structure, freedom with responsibility, freedom that allows each child to discover who they are and how they belong in the world. Dr. Montessori reminded us of this. Discipline must come through liberty. That's the heart of it. True freedom, real liberation, emerges not from control or chaos, but from environments where children are trusted, respected, and guided toward their best selves. Thanks for joining me on Montessori Unlocked. If this resonates with you, share it with a parent, educator, or leader who's curious about what Montessori freedom really means. And remember, freedom in its truest sense is preparation for peace.